All right. Good evening, everyone. It is Friday night. It is 7 p.m., and that can always mean just one thing. It is time for our weekly 1 hour live stream. And joining us on the shelf this week, we have two of the Olympians, Olympic and Titanic. And in the middle, we have BB-55, USS North Carolina, and the USS New Orleans. Let's see. Wolf, Max, Mark, how are you guys doing? How has your week been? Been a very interesting week for me, I must say. Well, it is going great, Wolf. It is going great. I hope you guys have had a good week, and we're about to we're going to set sail here. And to do that, we are going to start off looking at BB-35, USS Texas. Max, BB-55, yes, the USS North Carolina, which Max visited a few months ago. Mark, great week. It wasn't hot. Well, I wish I could say the same, Mark, but I cannot. It's going to be hot as you know what here through probably through like mid-October. Well, it starts to cool down towards the second half of September, but usually we don't get our first cold front or cool front till like those first couple of weeks of October, and what a blessing it is when we get that. So, we're starting off looking at the Texas this week for a reason, guys. Our beloved BB-35 finds herself in a little bit of controversy over there in Galveston. I am going to read an article I saw today and fill you guys in on what's going on. Let's see. It's from Chris Gray, I can't speak. By Chris Gray, Gulf Coast reporter, and this was published on June 25th. It says, talks continue, but nearby park ruled out as Battleship Texas forever home. He's talking about Seawolf Park, where the USS Stewart and Cavella are. That's the Galveston Naval Museum. But anyway, I'm not going to read the whole article, but I'll give you guys the majority of it. As the last U.S. naval vessel still afloat to serve in the Normandy invasion, the Battleship Texas has already had a huge month. A pair of artifacts from the 110-year-old warship were flown to France as part of ceremonies marking the 80th anniversary of D-Day. But back home in Galveston, the waters are still a little murky regarding its potential new neighbors. Late last month, Popular harborside restaurant Katie's Seafood House launched a viral Facebook post protesting the battleship's presumed relocation to Pier 21, home to two Landry's-controlled restaurants and the Harbor House Hotel. Landry's and the Battleship Texas Foundation are in the early stages of a partnership for the Hospitality Corporation founded by billionaire island native Tillman Fertitta to ultimately operate the USS Texas as a museum ship. BTF Vice President of Operations Matt Pham said last week. But to Katie's, at nearly 2 football fields long, the ship mooring itself at Pier 21 would block a significant portion of what the award-winning restaurant considers one of its primary assets, other than, of course, the food. The postcard-worthy view of the harbor, including Pelican Island and the so-called Mosquito fleet of shipping boats that tie up next door. As such, Katie's has drafted a Change.org petition urging the Galveston Wharves Board of Trustees, the public entity that manages the port, to block the battleship's relocation. The petition has now gathered more than 2,000 signatures, but not much has changed in the ensuing weeks, according to Pham. We're trying to be integrated and good partners on the island, but nothing has come out of that since then, he said. Neither Katie's nor the foundation has had any direct contact regarding the situation. Pham added, but we would certainly welcome that. Representatives from Katie's did not reply to Cron's request for comment Tuesday. However, Pham said the foundation has definitely ruled out nearby Seawolf Park, home to the Galveston Naval Museum, and a leading suggestion for an alternate home for the battleship. After years of meeting with the Galveston Park Board of Trustees, he said the foundation has determined that such a move, despite its proximity to the ship's current location at the Gulf Copper shipyard, it is really close, would be too expensive. They go on, it's just not the right spot for the battleship, Pham said, namely because of the dredging costs associated with the battleship being at Seawolf Park. It would cost us an estimated $11 million to be there. That's above the estimated $60 million restoration cost of the battleship, so that's certainly not a feasibility at this point in time. Meanwhile, the foundation continues hashing out a lease with the Wharves Board, which last November authorized Port of Galveston CEO Roger Rees to begin negotiating a 10-year lease with 2 additional 10-year options with the foundation. Though Pham declined to estimate when a lease could be signed, he said the outstanding issues between the two parties are at a manageable state. This thing goes on for quite a bit. I think I've got the gist of it here. Let's see. I'm skipping one paragraph, guys, because this is a really long article. Pham also addressed one of Katie's primary concerns about the battleship's potential move. What could happen should any potential hurricanes or tropical storms strike the island? According to the petition, if it came ashore during a hurricane, it would be devastating to all businesses near it. But in nearly 75 years anchored by the San Jacinto Monument, Pham explained, the old ship held fast through plenty of harrowing weather. She weathered some of the worst recorded tropical storms and hurricanes that Houston ever encountered, and did so beautifully beyond serving in 2 world wars. So hurricanes, while they are certainly a significant concern, we've got a tested history of making sure that the battleship can weather the storm well and be safe on her moorings. So there's the gist of it, guys. I know you're chatting up in here, and now I'm going to try and catch up with the chat and see what you guys are saying. What class is the Texas, Mark? Texas is a New York class ship. And there were only 2, New York being the first, BB-34, Texas being the second, BB-35. So it seems like it's still up in the air as to where Texas, where her final home is going to be. I mean, It seems like it's going to be Galveston, but it may not be originally where they wanted to put it because of these protests by this restaurant. What do you guys think about that? Any opinions on that? Their two main concerns are the ship being there is going to block their beautiful view of the nice fishing boats that are directly parked in front of their wharf and all the amazing, beautiful shipyards across the channel from them. That's their main concern. And secondary concern is that a hurricane could beach the ship or sink it, either way. What do you guys think about that? You can probably guess what my thoughts are going to be, but I want to know what you guys are thinking. In the meantime, we watch Texas kicking some butt here on Warships here. Wolf, moral of the story is middle finger to the stupid restaurant. So, Mark, I agree. Guys, I've been there. I've not been to that restaurant. I did not go to that restaurant when I went to do the dry dock tour, but I got in pretty close proximity to it, and I've seen the view. And apparently they've won awards for this view, and I don't know, I'm not seeing it. So we're gonna talk about the hurricane issue here extensively. So, Mark, how can a battleship be an eyesore? Well, they've got those beautiful little fishing boats that are all lined up in a row next to each other, and apparently that's a whole lot more beautiful than BB-35. Boy, whatever. So, give me a sec here, guys. We're taking a break from the footage there. Moonzer, hey Moonzer, what's up? It is not an eyesore. I couldn't agree more with that. Let's see. All right, so we're going to take a little look at, let's go to Google Maps here real quick. Wolf probably would be the only restaurant to have a battleship view. But you've got several restaurants lined up over there. Car, not everyone likes battleships. That's true. I mean, that is true, and everyone has the right to their opinion. But I don't personally see the big deal. But hey, I don't own the restaurant. Moonzer, go to Port Everglades. Wolf, don't know about anyone else, but I would totally eat at a restaurant and stare at the mighty Texas if I could, and I would be right there with you, Wolf. So, and that's worth pointing out one thing. Wow, fishing boats over BB-35. It seems that way, Max. And I remember, I think it was... and you guys know I've mentioned this before. I follow Park Stevenson's Facebook page, and he caught wind of this, and he made the comment that the people in San Diego that were all the restaurants and whatnot that were protesting the Midway going to San Diego for similar reasons are now some of the biggest supporters of the Midway because of the tourism dollars it brings in. So, So anyway, guys, I got Google Maps up here. We're gonna take a look at something real quick. I told you we're gonna talk about the hurricane issue. So let's do that. Who knows what museum ship is down here in Corpus Christi? Does anybody know? There's it. I'll give you a hint. There's an aircraft carrier down here. Anybody know what it is? Waiting for some answers to come in. Could it be, Wolf? USS Lexington? Mark, Olympic. I wish. USS Lexington, guys, aircraft carrier, right there. So, we've got the Lexington right here in Corpus Christi. Now, over here in Galveston, we've got, this is Seawolf Park right here. This is the place that the article mentioned. This is where the Galveston Naval Museum is. You've got the Stewart and the Cabela are right here. Now, you go a little further inland. It's up around here. It is the, here we are. You see this? Let me see. San Jacinto Battleground State Historic Site. This is where the Texas was prior to them towing it to Galveston. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 ships along the Texas coast that are museum ships. Let's go over to Baton Rouge. You see Baton Rouge, and you've got the Kid right here. Here is Mobile. We all know what's in Mobile. The Alabama and the Drum are right here in Mobile Bay. We get to zoom up in really close. There's the Alabama right there. So there's another ship over here in Jacksonville. And I think it's the Orleck. It's USS Orleck. Yep, there it is. USS Orleck, Naval Museum. You guys see where I'm going with this? Now, over here in Charleston, let's see. We've got, what's in Charleston, guys? It's right over here in this area by Patriots Point. We've got the Yorktown and the Laffey. Right there in, right here. And you've got, I think Fort Sumter is right here too, actually. Anybody know why I'm showing you all this stuff yet? Let's go further north. Where's Wilmington? Here is Wilmington. And Battleship, North Carolina, right here. Right here in Wilmington. So, all of that, Laffey is the second best destroyer. Yes, only behind Kidd. So, does anybody know why I'm showing you guys all this? Has anybody figured it out yet? In fact, let's go to that restaurant. Ports where historic ships are. That is 100% correct, Mark. But also the reason I'm showing you guys that is every single one of these places are prone to hurricanes. Every one of them. Ports where hurricanes can hit. Yes, exactly, Wolf. Now think about it. All of these ships have been here for decades and decades. Well, except for Orleck. Orleck's only been in Jacksonville for a few years, but she was actually in Louisiana and Texas prior to being in Jacksonville. So we have decades of museum ships in or near coastal cities that are in hurricane-prone areas, and some of them get hit more than others. And guess what? There is it has not ever happened once where a museum vessel was sunk or beached, as far as I'm aware of, because of a hurricane. So that's the point I'm trying to make. They're using the hurricane excuse to pile it on, and that's just all it is. It's an excuse. Now, let's see. This is the restaurant right here. You can see the sign, Katie's Seafood House. And when you're looking off, let's get a little closer. You see there's their little walkway or whatever. And look what is right here. So this is the first thing they see when you're looking off into that shipping channel. You got all these little boats right here, these little fishing boats. This platform, I'm not sure what it is. It's got ExxonMobil on it. Then this is the Houston Shipping Channel, and look what's over there. This must be a recent update to Google Maps. But look right here across the channel, guys. There's BB-35. This is the dry dock she was in. That's where I toured her. And I'm imagining that this right here is Pier 21. Well, actually, no. This says Pier 20. Well, where's Pier 21? Pier 21. Where's Pier 21? So this is a Pier 21, right by this building here. Yeah, look, there's the 21 sign. So, looks like right around this area is where she would be moored. So, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Like I said, they've got a petition with 2,000 signatures. And as far as I know, no decision has been made on that yet. I don't know. Just a little odd to me, but whatever. I mean, like I said, I'm not the restaurant owner. I don't live there. I'm not part of that community. But they're crazy to think that the battleship is not going to bring them in extra tourism. Again, talk to the people in San Diego after the Midway got there. I mean, we have precedent for what a museum ship can do for the community. So actually, we're transitioning. I know we didn't look at the Texas footage too long, but while this is up, I'll tell you guys what this is real quick. So Warships, as you guys know, all month long has been doing their D-Day campaigns. For the first half of the month, they have been, you had to play on the German side and defend the coast. Now, you're on the Allies side. I might need a drink here soon. And this is what the Allied side looks like. You've got all these little different objectives you got, and you're not storming the beach, but I guess you do eventually have to get to a point where you're basically prepping the beach or prepping the area for the Allies to storm the beaches. You got these super tiny, super fast little torpedo boats that you got to take out, so many of them. Okay, yep. Need a drink, guys. Sorry. Okay. I don't like doing that on camera. I imagine you guys don't want to see me doing that on camera. So, I know, Wolf, you kind of got back into Warships. What have you been doing in that game lately? The only reason I've been playing lately is to get some of the goodies that come with running this event. And I'm actually pretty close to the point where Well, let me rephrase that. I'm trying to get the Montana class, and you need 20 million in-game currency to buy the ship. I've got like 14 million right now, but I'm nowhere near having enough experience or whatever to research the vessels. So I've been playing a little bit more just to get closer to that. Wolf, I've been trying to farm for King George V. Nice. And let's see. Cara says, "Is that the New Orleans?" Yes. This is the USS New Orleans, CA-32, lead ship of her class, New Orleans class destroyer. This is the one where I'm always talking about how a 150-foot section of the bow was blown off of this ship by a torpedo. It sailed backwards to a port to get temporary repairs, and then again to another port to get permanent repairs. This ship was never sunk. She was eventually scrapped, unfortunately. It'd have been nice if we could have kept her and you put her as a museum ship in New Orleans. What is a ship? Speaking strictly about the military vessels, because I mean, we what is a military vessel that got scrapped that you would have liked to have seen preserved as a museum ship? I mean, we already know which ocean liners we want, which is the vast majority of them. Olympic being number one, for me anyway. Did I say destroyer, car? If I did, I meant to say cruiser. Yes, New Orleans is a cruiser. Billy! Wanted to stop by and say hello. Keep up the great work. Best History Channel, in my opinion. Also getting ready for my tournament. Everybody donate. Go check out my boy Bill Keys. If you are... He is not a gaming channel, but he plays Call of Duty. I'm guessing that's what he's going to be playing tonight. If you are a Call of Duty fan, go check out my buddy Bill Keys. He will certainly be on. He streams every Friday night. He streams multiple nights in the week. Billy, if you're still here, let people know what other nights of the week you stream. I know for sure Friday nights. USS Enterprise. Because I asked the question, what military ship would you like to have seen preserved? That was not. Carr says USS Enterprise. Will says it's a crime. There's only one heavy cruiser left. Agreed. Wolf also says USS California. I should have known that would be your guess, Wolf. I should have been able to pick up on that right off the bat, but I didn't think about it. Mark says USS Enterprise and USS Boxer. Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you once tell me that your family had some sort of connection to the Boxer? And is the Boxer in War Thunder, or because I don't think it's in Warships? Is the Boxer in either game? Max says USS Zellers. Or maybe it was Max. One of you guys told me you had a connection to one of these ships. And I do apologize, I'm not remembering which one. Yes, well, yeah, Wolf, it doesn't have to be a battleship, any naval vessel. And he says, now, if we're talking non-battleships, I'd say USS Baltimore. What class was the Baltimore, Wolf? Wolf says Boxer is an Essex class. I remembered that. Okay, thank you, Mark. Mark says his grandpa was on the Boxer in World War II and the Korean War. That reminds me, and I think Carr Carr, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I know Arkansas is your favorite ship, and you had a family member serve on the Arkansas, did you not? If memory serves, that's why Arkansas is your favorite ship. Warships, that is. Yeah, I don't ask the question about ocean liners because I mean we're going to name all the obvious ones. Olympic, Mauritania. I know Moonser wants Queen Elizabeth. And we could go on to the Imperators. It's a vast list. Let's see. Carr says yes. Was it your grandpa that served on the Arkansas, Carr? Moonser wants to know if I'm into Great Lakes freighters. Um, I'm not opposed to them, but I really don't know outside of the Edmund Fitzgerald, Moonser. I really don't know much about the Great Lakes freighters. Real quickly, guys, Carr says yes. So yeah, it was Carr's grandpa served on USS Arkansas. Was your grandpa on the ship during D-Day, Carr? I mean, that's really something if he was. Holy bejesus. I wouldn't mind having a model of the Edmund Fitzgerald too, while I'm thinking about it. Since now that I've got the Edmund Fitzgerald on the brain. Karen, hello, welcome to the stream. So Carr's grandpa was on the Arkansas for D-Day. That is insane. Too bad they don't have a model. Nobody's made a model of the Arkansas. What class was Arkansas? I know one of you is definitely going to know what class Arkansas was. Eric, welcome to the stream. I really hope they preserve the Arthur M. Anderson when she reached EOL. That's another thing, guys. I have a feeling we're going to see less and less museum ships with modern ships. The Navy doesn't seem to be all that into preserving more modern vessels. Oh, well, Arkansas was a Wyoming class. Okay, so if there's a model of a Wyoming class, you could do a conversion to Arkansas. Oh, that reminds me, guys. I'll be right back. I do have something to show you guys. I posted it in Discord, but I'm still going to show you guys on camera. So last week at that modeling show, I bought another model. And it's a pretty big one, as you can see. Look at the size of this box here. So USS Massachusetts. I'm trying to angle it so you guys can see it real well. There it is, USS Massachusetts. And in the black, somebody hand wrote on here, USS Alabama BB-58 conversion 1943. Well, Alabama's obviously not BB-58. However, this comes with what you need to make or do a conversion of Big Mammy to the Mighty A. It's already got parts in it, and it looks like it's even got a printed like instruction book. Because of course I've opened the box already and took a look at it. Carr's hitting us with some Arkansas facts. So, Arkansas whether Wyoming class, it was built before her sister, but for some reason it was so called the Wyoming class. They probably just named the class before they actually started naming the ships. That's just a guess, Carr. I'm not sure on that. But he goes on, Arkansas was built and laid down before Wyoming. Wolf, sadly, no Wyoming class model. Okay, so you would have to get either the preceding a model of one of the ships from the preceding class or the succeeding class and do a heavy conversion if you wanted a model of either of the Wyoming class. Good thing, though, in Warships, the Wyoming class is in World of Warships, just not the Arkansas specifically. So you could play as Arkansas' sister in this game. Wolf, beautiful. Max, very nice. Mark, nice. Carr, fun fact about the Arkansas, it never had any names, or nicknames, excuse me. Which is funny because Arkansas could have been the mighty A before Alabama was. And that is weird because most of those ships do have nicknames. Wolf, Arkansas is in World of Warships. I don't think she's in the PC version, Wolf. I know Wyoming is, but Arkansas is not. Must be that mobile version that you play. Carr, I got the Arkansas in War Thunder. I'm fine. There you go. And see, I was trying to think. Well, I asked you guys the question: which ships would you like to have seen preserved? I can't really think of any off the top of my head. The ones I would really want, we have. I mean, we've got 4 Fletchers, so we don't need another. I mean, well, actually, no. Let me correct myself. The one we're looking at right here, USS New Orleans. In fact, that's why I even asked the question. Which military ship did not get preserved that you would like to have seen preserved? Right here, USS New Orleans. Or BB-19, USS Louisiana. Mark, I'd like to see the USS Saratoga. See, that's the only 2 I could think of off the top of my head. So that's the end of that footage, guys. So we're going to pivot over to something else here for the rest of the stream. We've got about 20 minutes to go. So bear with me a sec while I pull up the final thing that we're going to be looking at this evening. The Arkansas fought in 2 world wars, and it still took a nuke to sink her. Arkansas, Nevada, Pennsylvania. Wolf, I think I would want a pre-dreadnought. BB-19, Wolf, USS Louisiana. So I've almost got it up here. I'm working on a really old, slow computer, guys. Well, I'm not really old, but not as good of a computer as I originally thought it was when I bought it. Let me put it that way. Mark says USS Pennsylvania. Is that your home state, Mark? Max says maybe USS Maine would be cool to still have her around. I was digging that picture of USS Ohio that you put in the Discord, Max. So, Moonzer says, as you know, my mother and father have been on board the USS North Carolina many times. They were on board a few days after they got married. Very nice. That's way cool. They have good taste. Mark, yes, Pennsylvania. All right. We're going to have a look at what never was and what should have been. RMS exterior. So, Mark, yay, Britannic. Yes, we've not looked at Britannic. It's been a few months, guys, since we looked at Britannic, so I thought we would have a look at, again, what never was and what should have been. So we're gonna walk. We're gonna have a little fun walking around Britannic here. Max, woohoo, Britannic. Eric, it would have been cool if New Orleans had been able to get the Cabot back in the 90s when they tried. I never knew that they even tried that, Eric. What do you know about that? Educate me on this. What can you tell me about it? So yeah, here she would have been with all of the gantry davits that she was supposed to have. Remember, as HMHS, Britannic did not have all of the gantry davits that she was intended to have. Open sesame. Let's get over to the port side. Yeah, so I've been wanting to look at Britannic again for a while since we haven't looked at her in a while, and that's why we've got her sisters up here on the shelf this week. And of course, I've got that little 3D print up there. That's small and convenient, so I've always got that. As a passenger ship, Britannic would have had barrier railings to divide the classes on deck. Now, as we know in later years, that one eventually went away because it went away on Olympic. You know, the first, second, third class. Mark, RMS Doric also had large gantry davits. They weren't quite as large as Britannic's though, if I remember correctly. Yeah, this in the end, I know a lot of people did not like the don't like the look of the gantry davits, but you couldn't argue their efficiency during the sinking. And chances are she probably wouldn't have even sunk were she not a warship. Because technically you can say she was a warship. This section of the boat deck was reserved for first class. Yeah, look at all this open deck space you've got in the middle here. I mean, really going all the way down the ship pretty much because of those gantry davits. So while they may not appear attractive to some, it seems like it would have been a much more efficient model. So yeah, this would be the engineer's promenade right here. And Britannic's deck has just got so much more stuff on it than Olympic and Titanic had. Max and Doric's gantry davits were installed in a refit, if memory serves. Is that true? Do we know that for sure? Gantry davit motor house. Now I never noticed that before. Look at these little wires going from the motor house to the actual davits. And of course, Britannic had an extended boat deck and a deck, and of course the elevated or the enclosed well deck. So, so if you could go back and see one of these ships in person, let's use say Britannic and Lusitania, since they were both casualties of war. Even though Lusitania was serving as a passenger liner, if you could go back and see one of these ships before tragedy struck, which one would you pick? Would you pick Britannic or would you pick Lusitania? Mark, she was launched and fitted out with the large gantry davits during a refit. They were taken off on Doric Max. And of course, the actual wheelhouse where they actually steered. Let's go down. Oh, look at the lights just came on. The A-deck promenade was entirely for first class. Wolf says Lusitania. Do you prefer Lucy and Mauritania over the Olympians, Wolf? This would have been amazing to walk down this at night. See, obviously I'm going to go with Britannic. That's my bias. You guys know that. Arkansas or Britannia. Nope. Nope. The question is, would you rather have toured Lusitania or Britannic? Max Britannic. She was never a full ocean liner. Never got a chance. And that is the truth. Ozzy, welcome. Ozzy says time for rum. I've got a beverage later, that I'll be having after stream, Ozzy. Me and an old friend of mine are going to get reacquainted. His first name's Jack, not Jack Dawson from Titanic. Eric, she was a light carrier CVL 28 AVT 3. She was laid down as a light cruiser in 1942 and converted to a light carrier for training. Well, I think Lusitania is prettier, but also she would have looked nicer before she sunk, unlike Britannic. Well, it's hard to say, Wolf, because, I mean, we know what Britannic was supposed to look like, externally and internal wise. She would have been an absolute amazing ship. In fact, let's jump off. We can walk on water in this game. Let's see how Britannic look, how Britannic was intended to look. Karen goes with Britannic. And that's not to say Lucy was not a good-looking vessel, because she most certainly was. But we're going to go all the way up to the front of the ship here and get a nice view. A couple of groups in New Orleans tried to get the funds to preserve her, but failed. She was berthed in New Orleans for most of the 90s and finally scrapped in 2002. Well, if I had someone in my family served on a light carrier. Do you know what carrier it was, Wolf? Alright, get ready to feast your eyes on this. Look at that. Let's get in closer. Guys, I don't know, man. Like I said, don't get me wrong. Lucy was indeed a beautiful ship. But this, I don't know. This just does it for me. She just looks incredible. Max, so pretty. Yeah, she would have been so, and really she looked good as HMS as well. But this man, this is incredible. Let's do the free cam so we can see her better at night. Let's go to the main menu, tour the ship, RMS, RMS exterior free cam. Let's do that. USS Wyndham Bay. He served on her during the Korean War. Do you know anything about this ship, Wolf? What can you tell us, if anything, about it? Look at that, guys. Even in the day, she is just absolutely freaking stunning. Yeah, let's trying to get the full ship in view here. I don't care what anybody says. I don't find the gantry davits look all that bad. And granted, she probably would have looked better without them, but they're not such an eyesore. They detract from how nice the ship looks, in my opinion. Let's get a closer look. And I know these things over here were, you see the lowered parts of the windows here, like right here and right here. Those were for extra support for the gantry davits, but they give her a certain style too. At least I think they do. Mark, she should have gotten a chance to be an ocean liner. I agree completely, Mark. Well, she was built during World War II and was a part of the Casablanca class light carriers. She was scrapped during the 60s. Yeesh. 64, by the way, was when Kidd was decommissioned for the final time, 1964. Remember, she was decommissioned after World War II, recommissioned for the Korean War, and then decommissioned for the final time in 1964. Eric, the gantry davits on the stern actually look pretty cool. And of course, this is where Britannic most looks the most different compared to her sisters. You know, right here, the aft well deck has a roof, and you've got this elevated platform here. Looks like the docking bridge on Britannic would have been even higher than what it was on Olympic and Titanic. So yeah, those are like the biggest differences right here. And then this was cool in a way because it gives third class a little more promenade room than what they otherwise would not have gotten on Olympic and Titanic. Now, of course, this right here, looking underneath the second funnel, this was different as well. Britannic had a room that was dedicated to being a playroom, that Olympic and Titanic did not have. I've actually been working on my model, and I have that installed. This this super large cargo hatch here on the forward well deck. All right, sun setting. Can't wait to see those. Can't wait to see her light up. That's always an amazing shot to see her light up. Ah, more drink. Ah. All right, sunset's coming. You can see the sun going. Actually, you can see the sun going down over there. And there it is. Sunset has happened. Her lights are going to kick on anytime now. Once it gets a little bit darker, here we go. Max, they should have made a game like this, but with Olympic. Mark, I agree 100%. Well, what we need is something with all three Olympic class ships in the game. Who knows? Maybe Mike Brady will put that in his Grand Voyage game. He hasn't done an update on that game in a long time. Now that I think about it. See, I know for sure. Oh, there we go. She's light. She's lit up. Her lights just came on. But yeah, in the beginning, there's going to be an airship in that game. There's going to be a car playing Squidward. Oh gosh, she's hot. She is a beautiful girl, no doubt about it. But no, in the beginning, Empress of Ireland is going to be in Mike Brady's game. I forget what the other two ships are. He has confirmed that Aquitania at some point is going to be in the game. Wolf says, beautiful. She absolutely is. I'm going to do a little pan around here. We're approaching the 1 hour mark, so we're going to be wrapping it up soon, but not before we see Britannic all lit up like this. She's absolutely stunning, guys. Or she would have been. Let's go down the promenade real quick. But by the way, now that I'm thinking about it, if anybody, any of you guys have never seen A Night to Remember, it currently is free on Tubi. Just a little FYI. The Palm Court and Veranda Cafes. Back up to going down Britannic's promenade deck. Will says World of Warships, the armed merchant vessel tech tree update when? I don't know, Wolf. I'm not sure. And there she is, guys, all lit up at night. How she should have been. Her and Titanic both, you know, what was and what should have been. There we go. Look at that. So, yeah, so we're at the 1 hour mark, guys. We are just about done. But before we go, I want to show you guys something real quick. Mark, A Night to Remember is on my Tubi list of movies. I watch it often. Sweet. Wolf, I need to play as Olympic and ram subs. I am so down with that. I want to ram subs with Olympic as well. But she's got to be HMT Olympic if we're going to do that. We have to be historically accurate. But guys, before we wrap it up this evening, I want to show you guys something real quick. As you guys know, I've been working on this for a long time. And this part of my build is 99% finished, so I figured now is finally a time acceptable to show it. Here is the hull of my Britannic. There it is. In all her HMHS glory. The yellow you see at the bottom is just masking tape that I have not taken off yet. But I wanted to show this to you guys. A car, ocean liner battle, let's go. I've been working on this for so long, and I finally got it done. Wolf, that's gorgeous. Thank you, Wolf. Thank you. There's some minor little touch-ups on it that have to be done, but yes, there it is. All the modifications have been made. You can see, I'll show you, I'll point out some of the modifications before we wrap it up here. Awesome. Will you portholes open? No, the portholes are staying closed, Ozzy. We're not opening portholes. So, let me get Titanic to show you guys some of the differences, because it is a Titanic kit. So, on Titanic, you can see the center bulwark, and then the lowered part of the boat deck, because that's how Titanic was. Britannic's boat deck was completely flush, and you can see I've modified it to be completely flush. Also, A deck, or boat deck and A deck, were both extended further back on Britannic than they were on Titanic. That has been done. And one of the biggest differences, let's see, go back here to Britannic for a minute. And as we were talking about when we were looking at the ship a few minutes ago, Britannic, of course, had a roof on the aft well deck. As you can see, Titanic and Olympic, of course, as we know, did not have that. On Britannic, there it is. You can see it. So those are all the modifications I've made. And also on Britannic, the interior here was painted the same color dark mast as the well decks were. So there she is, guys. My Britannic is she's getting there. The progress has been slow, but it's coming. And eventually you're going to see all three Olympians sitting on that shelf. And I can't wait for that day to come. So, yeah, I just wanted to end by showing you guys what's going to be my Britannic. So, that's going to wrap up the stream this week. We might not have a live stream next week, guys. It is 4th of July weekend. I'm thinking about taking a little road trip. I've not decided yet. But stay tuned to the channel and the Discord. Once I know for sure, I will make an announcement either way. And that's going to wrap up this week. Content schedule is as follows. The random short or every day, Monday through Friday at 11 Central Time. Weekly 1-hour live streams are 7 p.m. every Friday. And the video of the week is every Friday morning at 7 a.m. Moonzer says, good stream. Thank you, Moonzer. Car, you're doing good, lad. Max, awesome stream. Thank you, Max. Awesome stream, awesome stream. Yep. Cool. Guys, thank you for hanging out as always. I really appreciate it. And yeah, just stay tuned to the Discord and the YouTube channel. I will, as soon as I know something, I will pass it along to you guys. That's it for this week. Thanks everyone for watching, and until the next time, you guys know the drill. Happy 4th of July, and if you're going to be traveling, drive safely.